The Boston Massacre was a street fight that occurred between Bostonian mob and a small group of British soldiers. 5 citizens died, leading to a campaign of propaganda about the incident. This event was an outcome of the Townshend Act, in which Britain created new taxes in order to raise revenue for Britain. More importantly, the people of Boston were not pleased with the fact that the British soldiers were still residing in their town, taking up jobs. The so-called Boston Massacre occurred on March 5th of 1770. It all started when a young apprentice was hassling a British soldier who was on duty in front of a customs house. The apprentice accused the soldier of not paying a bill to the man he worked for. The soldier ignored him. Another soldier got involved with the young man by striking him on the back of the head with his musket. This drew attention to the scene, and a crowd began to form. The crowd began yelling at the soldiers, antagonizing them to fire their weapons into the crowd and to attack the soldiers. The crowd eventually grew into a mob of 300 to 400 people, and caused one of the soldiers to run for backup, making 8 British soldiers at the scene. The mob continued to shout and began throwing things at the soldiers, further instigating them to fire. In the midst of the yelling, there was some confusion over whether or not the captain ordered fire, and the soldiers began shooting into the crowd. The shots killed 3 citizens instantly, and 2 died later as a result of their wounds. After the soldiers fired their weapons, the crowd quickly dispersed into the streets, and rumors of the incident quickly began to spread. The governor came to the scene and arrested the British soldiers. After their trial, the soldiers were charged with murder on March 28th. A massacre is defined as the killing of a helpless group of people and the act of cruelty committed by another group who was fully in control of the situation. As we can see, the Boston Massacre is not named accordingly, as it was not the case. The soldiers did not have any control over the scene. They were greatly outnumbered, 300, 400 to 8. The mob of Bostonians were shouting and throwing things at them, begging the soldiers to fire their weapons so they could act against them. Also, the captain of the soldiers did not even give the soldiers order to fire. There are even rumors that there were Boston citizens inside the customs house that fired out the windows to get the soldiers to follow suit and fire back. The Americans wanted to make this incident seem worse than it was, therefore they called it a massacre. They did this in hopes of ruining the British soldiers' reputation.